Here are some scary stories that were submitted by subscribers, just in time for Halloween. If you have any stories that you'd like to share, comment them on this video. I'd be more than happy to do another one of these. Let's begin. Sunny Kitten 815. When I was 12, my great-grandmother passed away. But more on her is when she was alive, anytime she would go to the bathroom, she would make her bed back properly before leaving. She would do this every time. When I asked her why, she said it was the way she showed care for her husband, even though he had passed away himself in the 80s. Well, from that day till I turned 18, if I left my bed at any time, I would come back to it perfectly made. Night, day, if I left for school. My grandfather, who I lived with, said it was most likely her way of saying she loved me and was watching over me. I still have it happen today at 23. I'll leave a blanket on the couch, and when I come home after hours, with no one else in the house or having access, the blanket will be draped neatly over the couch. I don't find it creepy, but instead comforting. My husband has said it happened to him too. My family thinks it's her way of welcoming him into the family from beyond the grave. Love you, Granny. Ohio Frost 5894. I was 6 and we had just moved from Mississippi to Missouri. My bedroom door went into the living room, and when laying in bed I had a perfect view of the couch in the living room. One morning I woke up and seen an older lady laying on the couch, but was blurry, and I remember wiping the sleep from my eyes and looking again with clear vision, and she was normal, fully dressed, laying on her back like it was nap time. We looked right at each other, and she smiled really big. I panicked and sprinted out my door and to the left towards my parents' room. My mom met me in the kitchen because I must have yelled when I took off out of my room. I frantically told her what had happened, and she smiled and told me I was just dreaming, or hazy from just waking up. I looked back at the couch and nothing was there. We moved to our new house within the year, but I've never forgotten it, and that was in 1986. Bradley Pig. So one time when I was in high school, me and my homie was at his grandpa's house, which was maybe 20 to 30 feet from his house. We was watching the house for his grandpa. Well, we ended up going to the house to get something at 12 at night. On a school night, everyone was asleep besides me and him. We go to his house, and as we're leaving his house, I'm holding the door open. We just hear my name get called out, and it sounded like it came from behind. So we turn around, and everyone was in the house asleep, and everyone at Grandpa's was asleep. So we end up getting freaked out, and he says, "Run," and we took off, damn near went through the front door. Ruby Morgan, 9942. I have had many events happen when I was a preteen. I would be gone to bed for the night, and the bed would start shaking violently after a little while. Something would start jerking the covers real hard at the foot of the bed. I would try to scream, but I was so scared not a sound would come out of my mouth. I have many more events even into adulthood. It would take too long to tell. Jessica Gooch, 6717. 6 nights ago, I was coming out of a restaurant and I saw a cat thing on the other side of the road. I worked over to the other side of the road and nothing there. I got home and I saw the cat sitting on my bed. I said to myself, it's probably just Biscuit. Biscuit is my dog, but Biscuit is a dog. I turned away for a second, then looked back, and the cat was gone. I was terrified and quite paranoid too. I couldn't sleep for weeks, maybe even months. It was truly terrifying. 6 nights ago, you couldn't sleep for months? PSM 00. I've seen a video myself. My boss's brother owns a convenience store, and there's a video running, and the owner was in there. I believe by himself. But one person may have been in there, but far away from this spot. A can goes flying off the shelf. Looks like someone smacked it off, but nobody was there. The video wasn't edited or anything, 100%. Chasing Fireflies 317. I have lost 2 children, both adults and open cold cases. My home and the places I go, things move, fall over, shift right next to me sometimes. One time my laptop died. It was dead and closed on my bed. I showered and just finishing up, I hear my daughter singing. I was mind-boggled. Like, how and where is her voice coming from? Turned out my laptop in the closed position had opened, while dead, her YouTube page where she was singing. The shenanigans never stop around here. I will be burying my husband's ashes on Friday, October 13th. He would have gotten a laugh out of it. He died of cancer last year, November 13th, 2022. I expect it to be an active day. The funeral night was highly energized. Best wishes. User VT9XL5HK7M. Once on vacation, me and a friend bought/rented this off-the-internet horror movie from somewhere. One I had never heard of or seen anything about then or since. Could have been an at-home production easily, but it was terrifying. Well, my friend couldn't finish it because she was scared, so I finished it alone. And the next morning I was changing and I had these giant claw marks all the way down my back. Think like scratching and bruising. We left and everything stopped. I don't know what the movie was or what came with it, but I'm glad it didn't follow my home. It was a terrifying experience. Deathclaw 1198. Not my experience, but my sister's. Back when we lived in an apartment complex, my sister would stay in my mom's room because the room would be down the hall with little to no sound. Now the bedroom door would lead to the hallway where it would lead to the rest of the house, but you always know if someone was there because the floor would be noisy, no matter how good you are at sneaking. My sister was on the bed when she saw what seemed like faces peeking at her through the open doorway. 3 faces she saw that were staring right at her. She asked who was standing there and they didn't reply. She never stayed alone in that room anymore. Dylan Brown, 4039. When I was a teenager, my parents had these 2 friends. Their grandma's old house used to be a nursery or some kind of medicine ward. Every night we could hear the faint sound of children moaning or crying. Jessica Zissis, UJ5KY. I have paranormal activity at my parents' house. It goes on in my brother's old bedroom where I am staying in, and you can just sense that it's there. But sometimes you'll hear breathing. It's just crazy, bro. Like, you can totally feel the energy, and if you are tapped into that type of shit, then you know what I'm speaking about. Cordy 08. I can think of 3 in particular. My oldest son was able to predict my nephew's name, and that he was going to have a blonde-haired little brother, and knew what his name was going to be. He was right on both accounts. The second story. I was doing some stupid things and was getting ready to go to a party that nobody knew about. My twin sister somehow not only knew I was going to go to that party, but begged me not to because she had a dream that I OD'd and died. I've been 10 years clean now and I wholeheartedly believe she saved my life that night. The third one. I had a dream that my best friend showed up with my nephew that had passed away when he was 2 months old. I've only had one other dream about my best friend, but she was there to tell me that my nephew was okay and that he was in heaven. I couldn't see him because he just didn't know how to show up in our dreams just yet. And she was trying to show him how. Veronica Smith, 69-6. I wish I had a creepy story, but the only thing I have is that I had caught my dead father's voice, responding to me when I was trying to do a few sessions of EVP. I simply asked if he could speak slowly and clearly, and he responded simply as a matter of fact that I am speaking slowly and clearly. Well, he never liked that I was into the paranormal, so he's probably just a little displeased with me for trying. This is submitted by user Favorites on TikTok, the only submission from TikTok. We were adamant about not buying a house someone died in when we were house shopping. After numerous properties, there were none we liked that our realtor showed us. We started searching ourselves and found one that we were drawn to that had everything we wanted. A place for our cows, horses, chickens, shop, and several buildings. We knew this was the property we wanted. After about a year, I started seeing a ghostly figure. A man several times, both in the yard and in the house. Then we started seeing a woman and saw YouTube videos of the previous homeowners that our neighbors showed us, and there they were. It was the man and the woman we'd been seeing in our house. The man died in our bedroom, and the woman died in our son's bedroom. To this day, we still see and hear things. Thank you guys for submitting these stories. Thank you guys for listening. Happy Halloween.